Ladies and gentlemen of geometry, this is 8.3, talking about the areas of circles and sectors. So you're dealing only with areas, so you're talking about the space inside of a shape. So now, the area of a circle, if you've got a radius of a given length, so a radius just r, is pretty simple. You're just going to square r and multiply it by pi. That's all it is. R squared times pi, that is going to give you your area. So whatever your radius is, square it, which means just take r times pi, and that's going to give you your area. So now, figuring out the area of a circle with a radius of 15, so that's just going to be 15 squared times pi, and that's going to give me my answer. So in terms of pi, that's going to be 225 pi. That is considered exact. Now, if I actually multiply it by pi, that's going to be rounded. So if I multiply it, I get 706.858 inches. This is going to be rounded, actually. That's what they call this. So that's all I'm looking to do. So you got to look at kind of what you're dealing with. Make sure you label both of them. Otherwise, you might be wrong. So if I look at number 2, find the area of a circle with a diameter of 12 feet. Now, diameter is not what I'm looking for. I need the radius. But remember, the radius is just half the diameter, so the radius is just 6. So that means I'm going to take 6 squared times pi. That's a times pi, not equals pi. So that's going to be 36 pi units squared. Okay, that's going to be the exact answer. Then, if I want my rounded answer, that's going to be approximately 113.097 units squared. Okay, so you got to look at what are they asking. Are they asking for exact, or are they asking for the decimal? So now working backwards, figure out the radius of a circle with an area of 95 units squared. So pi r squared equals 95. So I want to divide by pi. So 95 divided by pi is going to be 30.2394. And then if I square root both of those, that's going to give me my radius. So it's going to be rounded about 5.5 centimeters. That's going to be my radius. Okay, so rounded, it's 5.499, so I just rounded to 5.5. Find the diameter of a circle whose area is 196 pi yards squared. Okay, so pi r squared equals 196 pi. This is actually going to work out pretty sweet, because when I divide by pi, that cancels out, r squared. This also cancels out, so that's going to be equal to 196. When I square root that, r is going to be 14. But they want the diameter. So diameter is just double that, so my diameter is going to be 28 yards. There's my answer. Okay, so a little square rooting, a little division, and I'm there. So you and 3 friends order a large pizza from Pizza, which has a 14-inch diameter. What is the total amount of pizza in square inches that you will eat if you split it equally? So if I split this thing equally, so figure out the area. So that's going to be 14 diameter, so that means radius is going to equal 7. So that's 7 squared times pi. So that's 49 pi equals 153.938. So you and 3 friends are ordering it, so you're going to take this number. So this is going to be inches squared. And what I want to do is I want to divide it by 4. Because that's how much you and your 3 friends are all going to eat. So if I do that, I get 38.4845. So that is roughly what each individual is going to consume. You're going to consume 38 square inches of pizza. So all I did, figure out the area, divided by 4, and away we go. Double check and make sure that it says diameter was 14, so I took 7 because 7 is my radius. So which has a better deal? So a medium pizza's got a diameter 12 pizza, or a large pizza's got a diameter 14. So the Domino's, you got to order 2 pizzas. Papa John's, you only have to get 1. So, but that's $10. The medium ones are $5.99 each. So let's kind of take a look at what we're dealing with here. So $10 for a large for Papa John's. It was $5.99 for each medium from Domino's, but you had to order 2. So the area of large Papa John's. Remember, Papa John's has got a 14-inch diameter, so that means a 7-inch radius. So I'm going to take 7 squared times pi, which should be familiar because that's the one we just had. So that's going to be 153.938. All right, so per dollar. So I'm going to divide that by 10. So that is 15.3938 per $1. So you get 15 square inches for $1 for Papa John's. Okay, so that's kind of how that works. So for Domino's, that's a 12-inch medium. So that means it's a 6-inch radius. So for one of those, that's going to be 6 squared times pi. So for one Domino's pizza, that's 113.097 square inches. So the area of the pizza is going to be 113.097. So 2 of those, because you have to order at least 2, is going to be 226.195. Okay, so the price is going to be $5.99 times 2. So the price is going to be $11.98. All right, so now the Domino's pizza, the dollar is going to be that. So 226.195 divided by the $11.98. That's a 5, by the way. Sorry. So when I do that, you get 18.8811 per $1. So you got to look at what is the better deal per your dollar. Well, you are getting more pizza through Domino's per dollar than you are for the Papa John's. So that's going to be mathematically how you would compare. Here you get 15 inches, here you get 18 inches per dollar. So now, how does it change when I talk about the sector of a circle? Well, sector of a circle is exactly what it sounds like. I'm only looking at one little area. I'm not trying to take the whole circle. So all I do is I take the angle measure of the sector. Okay, I take the angle measure of the arc, basically, and I take that divided by 360. 360 because 360 is a circle. So then I'm going to multiply that times pi r squared. Okay, so I'm taking one part of the area of the circle. So I take the area of the circle, and I'm only taking part of that. All right, so I'm going to take a percentage of that. So here, I'm going to take 148 divided by 360 times 6 squared pi. So 148 divided by 360, okay, times 36 times pi. So that's going to be 46.4956 meters squared. There's my answer. So, but I'm taking, here's the idea, area and then your degree out of 360. So here, find the area of the shaded sector. So that's going to be 53 out of 360 times 4 squared pi. So 16 times pi times 53 divided by 360 That's going to be 7.4002 feet squared. So here, now look. This part is 65, but I want this whole part. So what I want is 360 minus 65, because I want this whole big part. So that's going to be 295 over 360 times 11 squared pi. So 295 divided by 360 times 121, because that's what 11 squared is, times pi. So after all that, I get 311.498 inches squared. There's my answer. Okay? So now here, if you look, this is 130. Yeah, come on. That's 130. That makes this 130. But I want these parts right here. So 130 and 130 is 260. So 360 minus that gives me 100. That means each one of these is 50. That's what each angle measure is. So basically what I want to do is I want to take that 100 out of 360, and I want to multiply that times 3 squared pi. So 100 divided by 360 times 9 times pi. Basically multiplying it all together. When I do that, I end up with 7.85398 meters squared. Don't forget the label. So that is my answer right there. But look, all I did, figured out what part of it was shaded. Okay, so here's a little bit different one. So basically, I want to figure out the area of the big circle and subtract the area of the little circle. Okay? So the area of the big circle, radius, is 4.5. Area of the little circle, well, if this whole thing is 4.5 divided by 2, that's going to be 2.25. So basically, I want to take 4.5 squared times pi minus 2.25 squared times pi. So 4.5 squared times pi is going to be 63.6173, and 2.25 squared times pi is going to be 15.9043. So you're going to take 63.6173 minus 15.9043. So that's going to be your answer, 45.713. That's all I've got. Come talk to me with questions and play around with this and get comfortable with it.